So Reliance Capital Q2 consolidated profits were up 39% at 352 crores. Our top line was up 7% at over 5,000 crores. So overall businesses have done very well. All our businesses are profitable, doing extremely well. We've also had two listings in this quarter. Two of our subsidiaries have got listed. One is the asset management business and the other is the housing finance business.
Right. And also, what about the fears of the market that Reliance Capital is at risk in some way? Do you have any relationship on a company level with Reliance Communication? Any liabilities which...
So we have a loan exposure to Reliance Communication and its subsidiaries of approximately 1,000 crores. We also have a guarantee given on behalf of Reliance Infratel, which is the tower asset business. We are very hopeful of recovering the full amount by March 2018.
So just to reiterate the point that the total exposure or liability is only limited to 1,500 crore as far as Reliance Communication is concerned, and you're hopeful of receiving it.
Yes.
If you could also explain, compared to this, how's the financial condition of the balance sheet of Reliance Capital independently?
So Reliance Capital at a consolidated level, we have a net worth of 16,000 crores. Our total exposure to Reliance Communication, like I said, is around 1,450 crores. 1,000 crores is a loan given to them. 430 crores is the corporate guarantee given to them. So besides that, we have no exposures to Reliance Communications today.
You also have a lot of value unlocking drive which is happening right now at Reliance Capital. Some of it we've seen play out. There are indications that others could also be following suit. If you would give some color on what kind of value unlocking are you planning going ahead?
So we are in the process of divesting all our non-core investments. We have significant amount of exposure to private equity in the private equity space. So we are looking at monetizing all of them. We are also looking at doing an IPO for our general insurance business. So we filed our DRHP. We are waiting for regulatory approvals. Once that comes in, we will look at doing an IPO. Hopefully it will be before March 2018.
So talk to us about how's the profitability outlook for your company? How's the financial health of the balance sheet? If one were to compare this to the overall exposure you have to Reliance Communication right now, and if the worst case scenario pans out, which the street is also, perhaps talking about, and that's why a sharp fall in your stock prices, is there wherewithal to absorb it? Can you give some more clarity to your shareholders?
Yeah. Our net worth is around 16,000 crores. And our total exposure to Reliance Communication is 1,450 crores. It's insignificant compared to the size of our net worth. The 1,450 crores is something which we've reported in our balance sheet and we've spoken about in analyst calls in the past as well. So we are very hopeful of full recovery. It'll be a matter of some time before we recover this entire thing. And this exposure is primarily to the tower assets of Reliance Communication.
So you are clarifying that out of the things which have been spoken about, you have only 1,400 crore exposure, which you have stated in the past, and you also have the strength of the balance sheet to absorb it if that kind of occurrence actually happens. And apart from that, there is no reason to fear going forward, right?
Absolutely correct. Our balance sheet size is very, very strong. Our businesses are doing extremely well. Each business has done better than the Q2 last year. So there's no reason to fear or feel that Reliance Capital is not doing well.
I think we're very excited. These were the first quarterly numbers after our listing.
Correct.
And we have shown a growth of 25%. The PAT is 122 crores. And I think what is more exciting is what we are seeing is flows coming from small cities and towns. And clearly going forward, we see operating leverage to come and play. So I think we're very excited with the flows coming and a lot of initiatives of the government of India, whether it's to do with Jan Dhan, digital. So flows are coming from small cities and towns, digital transactions are increasing, and we see going forward the scenario to be even more positive.
So what's the condition right now as far as your SIP money in the market is concerned? You were getting a figure that 5,000 crore per month is crossed. If you could update us with the latest SIP, monthly SIP into the industry and also for your AMC.
I think we have clearly seen a big change in our post-demonetization. The SIPs are increasing, and I think, like I told earlier, the quality of SIPs are improving because they're coming from small cities and towns. The ticket size is actually smaller ticket sizes also coming, which is much more sticky. For us at Reliance Nippon Life AMC, we have added 7 lakh SIPs post demonetization. Total number of SIPs have crossed 20 lakhs, and we are adding roughly about 6,000 crores per annum. So I think it's a very good and a healthy sign. And going forward, I think we clearly see this is going to also add to the stickiness of the assets, because right now there's a structural change that is happening in India. Earlier, majority of the money used to come in lump sum. Now, very high percentage of this money is coming through systematic investment plans. So this is both good for us as an asset management company and also for the markets.
Right. Sandeep, the other thing I want to talk to you about very importantly is that around 300 rupees a share, there was a heavy demand for your stock. And now it's because of what is happening in the market, along with some fears that Reliance AMC also has some kind of exposure to the group company, which is facing debt-related issues right now. What would you like to say to your shareholders?
Well, we were really very happy and excited about the response we got in the IPO, which was oversubscribed 81 times. We saw 16 lakh applications coming in, and we thank all the investors for the support. I think the way we have to see is, I will not be able to comment about the stock price, but clearly there's been a lot of speculation in the media. I would like to put on record, our Reliance Nippon Life Asset Management Company has zero exposure to Reliance Communication in debt or equity. So I think all these fears are unwanted. And the company clearly with Reliance and Nippon Life, the two major shareholders, I think is run independently, and all these things which the market is talking about do not hold good.
So just to get it right, out of the debt of total debt AUM, you are not holding any debt of Reliance Communication, and also about the equity schemes. Any exposure
I think
to the stock?
the way we see for the company balance sheet, there is zero exposure to Reliance Communication.
So this fears that Reliance AMC is also falling because there could be some intercorporate relationship.
Like I said, I think I will not be able to, I cannot comment on the perception. But like I said, I'm going on record to say there's zero exposure to debt equity of Reliance Communication.
See, if you look at the Q2, we have grown at the rate of more than 53% compared to the same quarter last year. Our AUM is currently upwards of 11,000 crores. Our income has also grown by more than 53% over the same period last year. If you look at our net interest margins, we are at 3.9%, which are stable for the last 2 quarters. And as we grow our business into the affordable housing finance segment, we expect the NIMs to stabilize at about 3.5 to 3.6%. In fact, our cost to income ratio has gone down by close to 13% compared to the same quarter last year. Some of the interesting data about the profitability I would give you, compared to the same quarter last year, our profitability is 2x of the same quarter last year. As far as the borrowing from the banks and other institutions are concerned, we have been in a position to get down our borrowing costs by close to 70 basis points compared to the same period last year. And whatever the market talks of, I think there's nothing to worry at this point in time. We are an independently managed company with an independent board, and we are doing exceedingly well in the affordable housing finance.
So you are saying that the fear of the market, one specific one, that banks will actually start looking at you as a company which has got a group issue, and hence will shy away from giving you fresh sanctions. It's completely not right to think like that.
No, in fact, we have got fresh sanctions from the banks as recent as the last week. So we are getting fresh sanctions on a very regular basis from the banks. We are drawing down monies from the bank. In fact, if you look at our overall exposure, our overall focus on the bank, we have reduced from a level of 70%. Our borrowings, so 70% were from the banks to same quarter last year. We have got them down to a level of 40 to 45%, and we expect this figure to remain in the region of 40 to 45% in the coming quarters also.
The other fear in the mind of the market people is that your borrowing costs are likely to be impacted because group company has debt issues, and hence the same terms on which banks or financial institutions so far have been sanctioning you money, those terms will be renegotiated, and hence the risk of your borrowing cost. What would your explanation be to this point?
No, actually, for any housing finance company, there are two things which are very, very important. One is the quality of assets, and secondly, the cost of borrowings. In fact, it's a constant endeavor at Reliance Home Finance to get the cost of borrowings down, and we have been extremely successful in getting the cost of borrowing down. So in fact, I just shared, compared to the same quarter last year, our cost of borrowings have gone down by 70 basis points, and we would endeavor to get the cost of borrowings further down. And if at all, it is felt that the market is charging a differential, a delta, that's a higher rate for lending to Reliance Home Finance, there's no truth in that.
So, talk to us about how historically things have been. You said that you got sanctions from banks, including related banks, nationalized banks, as early as last week.
Yes.
But the acceleration in the problem in your group company actually happened in just 48 hours. Have you recently been in touch with, or have you been communicated from any of the banks recently that you'll have to, let's talk again about renegotiating the terms of cost of borrowing, anything of that sort?
No, in fact, there are multiple lines which have yet to be drawn from the banks also, which are sanctioned in the past, and we will be drawing these lines over a period of time as our business grows. There has been no communication from any of the banks saying that they have withdrawn the limits or the rate of interest have gone up there. And I think it's just a fear what you have. I don't think there's any merits in what the market thinks.